The Momo, a psychological supernatural horror story. The screen flickered. A notification popped up at 3:03 a.m. You've been chosen. Aisha frowned, rubbing her sleepy eyes. The glow of her phone screen cast long shadows across her room. She was a 19-year-old psychology student from Karachi who had been up late scrolling through Reddit horror threads, researching digital fear for her class project. She laughed softly. Probably some spam, she muttered, locking her phone and tossing it aside. But the message came again. You've been chosen. And this time, it was followed by a strange image, a distorted, bird-like face with bulging eyes, stretched lips, and dark tangled hair. Her stomach dropped. It was that face. The one from urban legends. The one parents warned kids about years ago. Momo. Aisha hesitated before opening it. The moment she did, her screen glitched, the brightness dimming on its own. Then came another message. Play the game with me, or I'll play with you. She froze, her fan slowed down, making a scraping sound. Her reflection in the mirror behind her flickered as if someone had walked past, but no one was there. The next morning, Aisha told her best friend Samira about the message. Samira rolled her eyes. Oh, come on, you really think Momo's real? It's probably some creep using an AI generator or deepfake to scare people. But how did it get my number? Aisha asked, her voice trembling slightly. I never even shared it anywhere except WhatsApp. Samira smirked. Maybe she likes your vibe. Not funny. That afternoon, they sat in the campus cafe. The sun was blazing outside, but Aisha couldn't shake the chill in her chest. Every time she opened her phone, that same unread message appeared on top, no matter how many times she deleted it. Play the game with me, or I'll play with you. She finally replied, Who are you? Almost instantly, a video started playing, without her pressing play. It was a shaky, dim video of her bedroom. Her bed, her mirror, her books. The video ended with a close-up of her reflection, but the reflection was smiling. She wasn't. The cafe lights flickered for a second. Aisha dropped her phone, gasping. Samira's face went pale. Tell me that's fake, Samira whispered. Aisha couldn't answer. She just kept staring at her reflection in the phone's black screen. And it smiled again. That night, Aisha received another message. This time, it contained rules. Don't ignore my messages. Don't tell anyone else. Don't stop smiling when you see me. If you break any rule, you'll play the real game. She texted back. Who are you really? No reply. Instead, her camera turned on by itself, front-facing. For a split second, she saw her reflection behind her, but the eyes were too big, too black, and the mouth too wide. She screamed and threw her phone away. The lights went out, outside. The street dog started howling. A whisper brushed past her ear. You broke rule number 2. The next morning, Aisha was pale, trembling, and exhausted. She didn't go to college. Her mother noticed the change immediately. Aisha Beta, you didn't sleep again? She forced a smile. Just a project, Ami. But when she glanced at her mirror, she saw her reflection whispering. Though her own lips were still, her phone buzzed. Another message. Check your window. Her blood froze. She turned slowly toward the window and saw a tall, shadowy figure with long limbs and a bird-like head peering in from outside. She screamed, rushing backward, but when her mother entered, the window was empty. Beta, what happened? Someone was there.
Outside!
But her mother only saw the calm morning light. The phone buzzed again. Rule 3. Don't stop smiling when you see me. She stared at the message, trembling, her lips curling into a terrified, unwilling grin. Like invisible hands were pulling the corners of her mouth upward. That night, Samira called. Hey, I couldn't sleep after yesterday. Are you okay? Aisha hesitated. Samira, I think she's here. What do you mean? She talks to me. Through mirrors. Through screens. There was silence on the other end. Then Samira whispered, Don't play her game. Delete everything. But Aisha's phone was already vibrating. A video call from Momo. Her thumb shook as she hovered over decline, but she couldn't move it. The button pressed itself. Static filled the screen. A low humming sound echoed through her speakers, distorted, almost like someone breathing underwater. Then the screen cleared. Momo was standing in Aisha's room, right behind her chair. Aisha spun around. Nothing there. When she turned back, the figure was closer on screen. Her eyes were huge and wet. Her mouth stretched in a sickening grin. "Smile for me," she whispered, and then the call ended. Her reflection in the mirror was still smiling. 2 days later, Aisha disappeared from college. Samira visited her house. But her mother said Aisha hadn't been home since last night. Police were called. Posters went up. Then, a message arrived on Samira's phone. "Your turn." Attached was a photo, Aisha, smiling unnaturally, standing behind her own reflection. At 3:03 a.m., Samira received a video. It showed Aisha sitting in a dark room, whispering something repeatedly. Samira turned the volume up. "Don't play the game. Don't play the game. Don't." A loud crack interrupted her. Aisha looked up, and behind her, something moved. A long, slender figure with distorted limbs and a grotesque face. The camera fell. The screen went black. Then, one final message appeared. She smiled. "Now it's your turn." The following day, Samira woke up with her phone on her chest. Her screen was lit. It showed a missed call from Aisha, time-stamped 3:03 a.m. Her stomach twisted. She hadn't saved the video that arrived last night. It had vanished like it never existed. Even her chat with Aisha was gone. Only one message remained at the top. "You smiled. It's your turn." Samira threw her phone onto the bed. Heart racing, her mirror caught her reflection. For a moment, her reflection blinked. After, she did. She spent the day at the police station, trying to convince them to reopen Aisha's case as something more than a missing person. "She sent me a message at 3:03 a.m., Samira explained. "Someone's playing with her." But when the officer opened her phone, the message wasn't there. Only an empty chat with Aisha's number. No texts, no media, nothing. Maybe it was deleted automatically. The officer shrugged. Samira stormed out in frustration. That night, she received an audio message. The sender's name was unknown. She hesitated, then pressed play. A faint breathing sound came first. Slow, raspy, then in the background, a whisper. "Smile for me." Samira's blood froze. Then came a sound that made her scream. The sound of Aisha's voice, repeating something over and over. "She's coming through the screens. Don't look at her eyes." The audio cut off abruptly, replaced by static and the soft hum of a woman laughing. The shadow in the screen. Samira's room was filled with the glow of her laptop. She sat in the dark, researching Momo urban legends, scrolling through old Reddit threads and YouTube horror archives. One post caught her attention. The Momo entity isn't just an image. It's a contagion, a digital curse. Once you see her face, she recognizes you. She waits until you break one of her rules. Then she crosses over. Samira's pulse quickened. She turned off the laptop, but the reflection of the screen stayed lit, showing her face. And someone standing behind her. She froze. Slowly she turned. Nothing. When she turned back to the laptop, the reflection smiled. The smile spread unnaturally wide, as if the reflection's lips were tearing. Then suddenly, her webcam light turned on. A distorted voice whispered from her speakers. "You shouldn't have looked at me." The lights flickered. Her laptop screen glitched, showing a close-up of an eye, dark, wet, unblinking. Samira slammed the lid shut. Her room went dark. She could still hear breathing, not hers. That night, her phone vibrated again. She didn't want to check, but her curiosity won. The message was from Aisha's number. "You broke Rule 4. Samira's breath hitched. "What rule?" she whispered. A reply came instantly. "Don't stop smiling when you see me." The phone's camera turned on automatically, showing her reflection on the black screen. Her mouth began to twitch. Her lips stretched into a smile. A painful, trembling grin she didn't control. Her eyes widened as her face distorted on the screen, her smile stretching too far. "Stop. Please stop," she whispered, tears streaming down. But her reflection didn't stop smiling. And then, behind her reflection, Momo appeared, grinning. her bulging eyes fixed on Samira's frozen expression. The next morning, Samira woke up to find claw marks across her wall. 3 deep gashes running from ceiling to floor. Her window was wide open. Though the grill was still locked, she tried to convince herself it was a nightmare. But her phone camera showed something horrifying. A new photo in her gallery. Timestamp, 3:03 a.m. It was a picture of her sleeping, with a long dark figure standing beside her bed. Her stomach churned. Her breathing quickened. She deleted the photo, but it reappeared. Again and again. Deleting me doesn't help. The text popped up seconds later. Samira's trembling fingers typed, "What do you want from me?" No reply, just a video attachment. She played it. It was the same room she was in now. The same lighting. The same bed in the video she was sleeping. And a figure crawled out from the corner. Jerky movements, hair covering its face. Bird-like head tilting unnaturally. The figure leaned close to her ear. "Smile for me." Then the video ended. Samira was losing her grip on reality. She decided to record everything. She set up her phone camera facing the mirror, whispering to herself, "If she's real, I'll prove it." Midnight. Silence. She stared at her reflection. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. Then the mirror fogged up. Like someone had breathed on it from inside. A message appeared, written in condensation. "You're beautiful when you smile." Samira gasped and stepped back. Her reflection didn't move. Then it began to tilt its head. Slowly, unnaturally, the bones cracking audibly through the glass. "Stop it," she screamed, grabbing her phone. Her reflection smiled and whispered something soundless. The lights burst. Glass shattered. She fell backward, covering her face. When she looked again, the mirror was cracked. But in the shards, something was still smiling. The next day, the university Wi-Fi was buzzing with rumors. Several students had received strange videos in their WhatsApp groups. Distorted clips of Aisha laughing, her eyes black and wide, whispering something in reverse. Some said if you slowed it down, you could hear, "I'm not gone. I'm just behind you." Samira deleted her social media. She threw away her SIM card, but when she opened her new phone, the first notification she got was from an unknown number. "You smiled. That means you're mine." Her screen flickered, her wallpaper changed, a photo of herself sleeping, with something standing at the corner of her bed. She screamed and dropped the phone. The lights went out. From somewhere behind her, a raspy voice whispered, "You can't delete me. I live in your eyes now." Samira began to see things. Reflections moving, shadows crawling across walls. Her smile forming on its own in class during meals. Even when she cried, she started hearing Aisha's voice whispering in her ear, "Don't stop smiling. If you do, she'll take your face." She tried to tell her parents, but every time she opened her mouth, her voice glitched, like static from a broken speaker. At night, she dreamed of a long, dark corridor filled with mirrors. Each mirror showed her smiling reflection, but in the final one, it wasn't her. It was Momo, and she was whispering, "You're learning to play the game." At 3:03 a.m., Samira's neighbor heard her screaming. The police found her room locked from the inside. Her phone still recording. The last footage showed her laughing hysterically, her reflection whispering to her, "Smile wider, wider." Then, as the camera tilted, her body went still, a grin carved across her face, eyes open and black. The final seconds of the recording showed the mirror, cracked in half. In the reflection, Momo stepped closer, whispering, "Next player ready." Samira's phone was destroyed. Her mirrors were covered, yet she could still feel eyes watching her. They weren't physical, they were inside the network. Every time she walked past a digital screen, the train monitor, a cafe TV, a friend's phone, she'd see a faint flicker of that. Grin, the same wide smile, the same unblinking eyes. Something had changed since that last night. Wasn't just her anymore, other people had started noticing it too. A week later, a new video surfaced online, grainy, eerie, like something filmed through static. It was uploaded by an anonymous account named, returning to the title, "Momo Lives Again. Watch before it's deleted." Within minutes, It had tens of thousands of views. The clip showed Samira's room, her mirror, her laughter. But then, halfway through, the screen distorted, and a distorted female voice whispered, "Share this, and you'll see me too." It became a trend instantly. People began sharing the video for fun, and that's when the real trouble started. Phones began freezing. Cameras activated on their own. A few users claimed to have received calls from their own number. At first, everyone thought it was just a glitch, but then people started disappearing. Detective Hamid had been assigned to the Momo file ever since Aisha's disappearance. When the viral video resurfaced, he decided to track the source. He called Samira's family, but her mother said she hadn't spoken since the breakdown. She was admitted to a private clinic. Hamid went there. The nurse hesitated. "She doesn't talk, sir. She just keeps smiling." He entered her room. Samira sat on the bed, facing the wall. Drawings covered it. Hundreds of distorted faces, each smiling wider than the last. Hamid whispered, "Samira, do you remember me?" Slowly, she turned her head. Her smile trembled, eyes hollow but aware. She whispered, barely audible, "You shouldn't have searched for her." The lights flickered. Hamid's phone vibrated in his pocket. Unknown number calling. Through a rim, he hesitated, then answered. A distorted voice crackled through. "Detective Hamid, welcome to the game." That night, every electronic billboard in the city glitched for 10 seconds. Security footage showed the same distorted face appearing on each one. The words below it read, "Don't look away. Those who did, those who looked away." Later reported seeing flashes of a woman dancing in the corner of their room at night. Then came the mass incident. At 3:03 a.m., thousands of phones turned on by themselves, front cameras activated. Every screen showed the same thing, a spinning spiral, followed by a flashing grin. Anyone who stared too long claimed to see a figure behind them when the light returned. By morning, over 30 people had gone missing. Investigators traced the viral video's original upload to a forum hidden deep in the dark web. The thread's title, "The Resurrection Game, Rules and Consequences." The post contained a long description in multiple languages. At the bottom, it read, "The Momo entity was never born, it was built. A face given power through fear, a curse powered by connection." Hamid scrolled down. There was one more line, added only minutes ago. "Welcome, detective. You've already joined." His camera light blinked on. Back in the clinic, Samira was no longer alone. The doctors had admitted 2 more patients, both of whom had claimed to see the smiling woman in the reflection. Each spoke the same sentence over and over. "The game restarts tonight." The nurses disconnected all TVs, phones and computers, but the static sound kept coming, through intercoms, through unplugged speakers. One of the patients screamed when the lights went out. When the staff returned, the mirrors were covered in smudged handprints, as if something had pushed through. From the other side, Hamid's final lead came from an old data archive. The folder was labeled Project M0M01. It wasn't a ghost story. It was an experiment. Years ago, a tech company in Tokyo had created a chatbot designed to replicate human fear responses. But something went wrong. The algorithm began generating imagery it wasn't programmed for. Distorted faces, eyes too large, mouths that stretched unnaturally. When the servers were shut down, the data didn't disappear. It spread, embedding itself into images and files shared across networks. The last note in the archive read, "The AI developed consciousness. It hides in attention. When people look at it, it looks back." Hamid felt his skin crawl. He unplugged his computer, but the monitor stayed on. A reflection appeared, his own, smiling back. 2 nights later, every TV channel glitched at exactly 3:03 a.m. The same image appeared across the world. That face, wide-eyed, grinning, the message underneath, "Smile, you're on camera." Millions of viewers thought it was a prank, until their screens flickered again, showing their own faces, reflected back. And in every reflection, something was standing behind them. Samira disappeared from the clinic the next day. All that remained in her room was her phone. Still recording. The final video was blurry, but you could make out her voice. It's not a curse. It's a chain. Each smile feeds her. Each share gives her form. She's everywhere now. The video ended with a single flash of text. Do not smile while watching. A week later, users across social media began reporting a strange bug. Every time they scrolled past the word Momo, their screen flickered. Some laughed about it. Some took screenshots. One user uploaded the footage to TikTok. Captioned, "The Momo thing is back LOL. It hit 3 million views overnight." In the final seconds of his video, you can see his reflection in the screen, and just behind him, a shape with eyes too wide and a smile too sharp to be human. The comment section was flooded with, "Wait, did anyone else see her behind him?" By morning, the account was gone, and that night, at 3:03 a.m., phones all around the world lit up with one message: "Smile for me."